You have a right to live live where you want to live. You have a right to go to school. You have a right to have relationships with male and females. You have a right to a job if you want to, earn money. You also have a right to go to the church that you want to go, whether it's a synagogue or Catholic church or whatever your religion is. You have a right to do that, or you have a right not to if you don't want to. So you also have the right to be respected, by if those of you have staff, by your peers, by your family, not to be abused and not to be mistreated or taken advantage of. And as I mentioned before, you do have a right to be in a clean and safe place to live. So you have a right to be in a clean environment, not one that's dirty or uncomfortable or unsanitary. So you do have that right. And you have a right to choose where you want to live. You also have the right to choose who you want to help you find a place to live. You have a right to manage your money. You have a right to pay your bills. Or you can choose someone to help you with manage your money and, as I mentioned before, pay your bills. And you have a right to live alone if you choose. You can have a roommate, or if you don't want to have a roommate, you have the right to live alone. You have the right for food that is good and nutritious, healthy foods. You have the right to grocery shop and pick out your own foods. I mentioned the church in that. I think I mentioned that. Oh, you also have a right to go to the doctor. You have a right to have health care. You have a right to talk to the doctor about whatever is bothering you, whatever health issues you have, or whatever concerns you have. You have that right. You also have a right to go to speech therapy, physical therapy, or get treatment for any mental health issues that you may have or someone in your family may have. They have a right to see a therapist to help them. You have the right to get these services in a way that makes you feel comfortable. As I mentioned before, you have a right to be alone sometimes. If you want alone time, you have that right. Like, say, for instance, those you may have staff, you have the right to have some alone time, whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it may be, you have that right. Like, say, for instance, if Key wants to be alone, Key has that right to be alone. And you have a right to talk to other people. You have a right to have your own things. Your cell phones, iPads, computers, phones at home, personal property, you have that right. And I mentioned before, you do have a right to have friends. Kia, did you want to add anything?
You also have the right to tell people how you feel, especially if you're not being treated well. You have that right to speak up for yourself. Oh, sorry, hold on, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna move and let you.
Hello. It's me. Hi, I'm Kia. You also have the right to speak up for yourself. As an adult and as a person with a disability, if you're not being treated well, or if someone's messing with you, picking on you, or making fun of you, you also have the right to speak up for yourself. Go talk to someone. Don't just let it keep happening to yourself. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Okay, you also have the right to set goals for yourself. What your long-term goals are and what your short-term goals are. Let's say, for instance, oh, and you do have a right to go to school. And you have the right to higher education. Let's say your short-term goal is you want to go to school, either you want to get a certificate or you get a degree. You can choose whatever school you want to go to or whatever college you want to attend. That is your right. You have a right to disability services also. A lot of colleges provide disability services. Individuals, let's say for instance, Kia is in a wheelchair. She has that right to get those special services for her to meet whatever her needs are. Whether it's, if she needs more time taking tests, if she needs, a certain type of transportation, like say our buses are handicap accessible, she has that right. A lot of you have that right. A lot of you, same as like Carla, like Akeem, you have a right to have an interpreter. Say, for instance, like, like Raquel and Jose. Sorry about that, Raquel. I was trying to get my thoughts together. They can help you with that. And while you're at school, you also have that right to have them be with you to help you out. Let's say you have a question for your professor and you want to explain, let them know what your question is. You have a right to have someone there to help you interpret what you want to say. Also, if you're having any problems with your homework, say for instance, if you may be hearing impaired, then that individual can help you with that, because that is part of the services that disabilities provides. Let's say you wear glasses, and you have a visual need. You have a right to have large print materials that will help you. If you have a laptop, like I know you see, you have a right to make it your screen bigger or wider so that you are able to see, to help you with your visual needs. Let's see what, I think what else. But anyhow, you do have the right to get help for whatever your disability is, whether it's physical, where it's mental. You do have a right to those services to help you get through school. And you also have a right to have a tutor. Let's say, for instance, math's not your expertise, you're not good at math. You have the right to get a math tutor to help you with those needs, such as a writing tutor, or let's say, for instance, you're struggling in your science classes. There are special tutors there that can help you to do the things you want to do to achieve those goals and to help you succeed in college. You do have that right. As I mentioned before, you have the right to work and make money. Let's say you want to work at PALS. You have that right. So you could, if you want to work at PALS, you could talk to Phil. Phil's another person you can talk to. He's very well at helping you. Or Jonah. I know Jonah could help you, or Amanda could help you, or even Aaron. They can help you get your job, give you the steps you need to get that job that you want. And if you have any problems, let's say with coworkers, you have a right to go to your supervisor and tell them what your problem is. I have a problem with this individual, can you help me? They will give you that help that you need. Or you could go to, say, maybe Raquel or Jose, they could also help you as well. But you do have that right. Again, another thing, which we're talking about being treated with respect. You have a right not to be bullied, not to be made fun of your disability, whatever it is, whether it's a hearing impairment, whether it's a speech, whether it's a sing, any kind of physical, you have a right to not be made fun of because of your disability. And you also have the right to not be called, which the word has been outlawed for quite a while. You have the right not to be called mentally retarded. That is your right. And because you have that right, and there was a lot of issues where people were being bullied, were being mistreated, were being labeled, Governor Strickland passed a law saying you can no longer use the word MR. So now it is DD, developmentally disabled. So you do have a right for someone not to call you that, or make fun of you or put any kind of stigmatism on you. If someone does that, you have a right to go to you could go to Raquel, you could go to Jose, you could go to Marcus or Phil. If any of that is happening here, you have the right to speak up and advocate for yourself. It's very important that you let people know how you feel. They can't help you or know what's wrong unless you tell them what is bothering you, basically. But you do have the right. And basically, you have the right to be treated fairly. And you have the right to do the things you enjoy. If you enjoy bowling or playing baseball or doing ASL or doing self-advocacy, you have that right to do the things you enjoy doing. I gotta get another page here. And you have the right to make your own decisions. If there's something you want to do and someone tells you no, you have a right to tell them why you want to do that, the reason you want to do that, and that's something you like doing, something you're good at, and something you enjoy doing. Let's say you want to help other people and you like helping people. They tell you you can't. No, you have that right to help others. You have that right to help your peers. That is your right. And no one has the right to tell you, no, you cannot do that, because you do have the right. And again, that goes into advocating for yourself as well. You have the right to pay your own bills, to earn your own money. If you want to, again, this goes to things you enjoy. Let's say you enjoy playing basketball. You have a right to get the things that, such as a basketball hoop, say maybe a shirt and shorts. You have a right to get the things that's your hobby and you enjoy doing it. So you have the right to buy those things or purchase those things at a store. And you have the right to use your money to purchase those items. Also, activities at PALS. You have the right to do those activities that you enjoy doing at PALS. It is your decision to do what you want to do. Let's say, for instance, you want to, well, if the Clippers were open and they were going right now, you want to go to the Clippers game. So you have that right to go to that game and enjoy that game. And if you want to get food purchase food, you can. If you want to purchase souvenirs, you can purchase a souvenir as well. But basically what it's saying is you have the right to buy the things that you want and the things that you need and the things that you enjoy. Or if you might have a little trouble with managing your money or counting, you have the right to have someone help you with that. Let's say maybe someone like Raquel, she was going on outing and you want to purchase something and you weren't sure how much money to give, Raquel can assist you, or another staff person at PALS or wherever you are, they can help you with that. And they can also make sure that nobody takes advantage of you. Either gives you too much money or not enough. You have that right. You have the right to say who has the right to know that you're disabled. You have a right to privacy, which is HIPAA, which if, let's say you go to the doctor and you see the doctor, and then, you talk to the doctor in private. You have the right to talk to your doctor, tell your doctor what's going on. Let's say you're not feeling well, why you're not feeling well, how long it's been going on. You have that right. You also have the right to say, no, I don't want anybody else, whatever you've talked to your doctor about, I don't want anybody else having that information. You have that right also. And you have a right to tell them who you want to get that information. You have a right to privacy. You have a right to ask for changes. If there's something you don't like and you want change, you have that right to have it changed. Let's say you want to go vote. You have the right to vote. If there's a candidate in there you're not happy with or not helping you or doing what they're supposed to do, you have a right to vote them out and vote another person in who you think would be the best candidate for the job. And you have a right to control your own body, basically. Nobody can hold you down. If you're not hurting yourself or hurting others, then you have that right not to be restrained. Either, like they're grabbing your hands by restraining you, or they have your hands back here on your back behind a chair and then restraining you. You have that right not to be restrained. Now, if you are hurting yourself or others, then that's different. But if you are not hurting others, then you don't have the right to be any kind of restraints, whether it's being tied down, whether someone is, like, say for instance, putting you on the ground and they're on top of you, keeping you down, like restraining you that way. You have the right to say no. If they are pushing you and taking you out of another room, again, if you are not hurting yourself and you are not hurting others, you have that right to say no. So that is your right. And also, you have a right, if, say, for instance, you have to take a medicine and you don't want to take that medicine, you have a right to say no. Which is this right here. I'll show you some examples here, what I'm talking about. So basically, you have the right to say, no, I don't want to be physically restrained. And these are some of your rights right here. Can you guys see these? Okay. This is the one on the medicine where he's holding the medicine, his medications, and it says that you have the right not to be held down if you are not hurting yourself or someone else. And then also you have the right to refuse to take medicines you don't think you need. So if there's a medicine the doctor prescribes and you feel you don't need it, you have a right to say no. I don't want to take that medicine. Or let's say that you may be allergic to that particular medicine. Again, you have a right to say no. Because a lot of people are allergic to certain medications and they have a right to say, this is what I'm allergic to. I can't take this medication. And you again have the right to say no. Because when you have taken this medicine, let's say you had an allergic reaction. Let's say maybe you had hives on your face, or your throat swells up, or you may have a seizure or some type of, you're shaking all over, or let's say you come very seriously ill and have to go to the hospital. Again, that is your right to say no. I cannot take this medication because I am highly allergic to it. That is your right. As I mentioned before, you have the right to vote and to learn about the laws. You have a right to vote to your dedicated polling place. You can vote absentee, or you can go to your polling place and you can vote. If you need help, you have a right to have someone with you to assist you, to help you in that decision. They can read off the candidates, you tell them who you want to vote for, and then you go ahead and vote. No one has the right to tell you cannot vote. No one has the right to bully you. No one has the right to keep you from voting. That is your right to vote. Another thing, you have the right not to participate in a government study or any type of study. Let's say there's a new drug coming out and they want you to try it. You have the right to say no. I don't want to do it. I don't want to participate in your study. I don't want to take this particular drug again, or any experiment they are asking you to do. You have the right to say no. Again, you have the control of your body, and you can say no. I don't want to be part of this any type of experiment or study. You have the right to say no. Okay, that pretty much clears up all your rights. Does anybody have any questions? Can they hear me, Marcus? I don't know if they can hear me. Okay.
Jane, that was a really great synopsis of your rights. So tell us a little bit about which rights mean the most to you, and tell us a little bit more about what the word, your right to kind of means to you.
What it means to me is, like, I have the right, like I mentioned before, I have the right to come to PALS. If I want to come to PALS, I want to work at PALS, that's my right. And nobody has the right to tell me no. I have a right to, like a job. If I want to work here at PALS, I have that right. I have a right to socialize with my friends here at PALS. I have a right to go to, when I went to college, and I learned a lot, and I developed the skills that I needed to be successful. That was important to me. Because when I got out of high school, I was asked, did I want to go to school or did I want to go to work? And I went to work, and my mother had gotten sick, so I had to quit my job, which it was kind of hard. So after I lost her, then I went ahead and the job I found out my job because Tom Fish and Louisa X told me about the program that Tom was running, Earn and Learn. So I had a right to go there and find out more about it, which I did at my meeting. And I went for my interview, and I answered all the questions and, told them what my qualifications were, and I got the job. So that meant a lot to me. And that actually was my second job that I had. But it meant a lot to me because I like helping people and I like doing things for people, which has always been my passion. It's all my life I've helped other people, and it's made me feel really good. And you guys have helped me a lot too. Supporting me through school, supporting me through my job. It's meant quite a bit to me. Because I was told in the past, you're too dumb, you're too stupid, you can't go to school, you can't do this, you can't have a job. And it kind of hurt my self-esteem, basically. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like I was a failure. But since I've come here, I've realized that there are things I can do, things that I'm capable of. And I think it was because of all the support I had that I didn't have. And with you guys supporting me, I feel like I've actually been successful. I've found something I enjoy doing. I found like I enjoy helping, I enjoy helping you, Jonah, and everybody here at PALS, and I enjoy my job. I love my job, and working with, Carla and helping Raquel and Jose. It's meant a lot to me. And I'm just grateful that I have the people in my life that I do, because I didn't have those people in my life. I have a really great team, and I am thankful for them every day. But it has made a big difference in my life. I just wish you guys had been in my life a long time ago, because a long time ago, my life was not all that great. It was pretty rough. But I found out, and a lot of people told me, what you've been through, you're a survivor, Janie, you're a strong woman. And I think it's because I knew I had these rights, and I knew I had people that supported me that made a big difference in my life. So thank you guys. Thank you for giving me. Go ahead, Jonathan.
So Jane, you brought up a couple of the rights you talked about were things that maybe maybe might not be a good idea. So what I mean by that is, like you said, you have the right to refuse medicine, or you have the right to, have, whoever you want for friends and things like that. Do you think that sometimes some of those rights could be like a mistake, meaning maybe refusal to take a medicine that that you should take? Do you think that sometimes that could be a mistake? The reason why I ask is because, do you think that all of us make mistakes, and that we have the right to make mistakes and learn from them? Because I've always felt that was something that maybe should have been added to the Bill of Rights, is just simply the right to make a mistake.
Right, because I've made mistakes in my life, and like I said, I didn't have a good support system, and I think you do have a right to make mistakes. But as far as medicine, yes, I think it's a good idea. If it's got medicine, if it's going to help you, then yes, I think you should take that medicine. I don't think you say no, because there's medicine out there to help you, and that's why the doctor prescribes medicine, is to help you. Let's say
Sure.
that you had surgery and you needed, and you're in a lot of pain, and you need that medicine to help you with that pain. And then there's certain medicines that you need, like, to keep you going, keep you active. And I think that is important too. Like, if, let's say, you were in an accident or something and you had surgery, then, and you need that medicine, and you do need to have, like, physical therapy to get you back where you're working in, you're active again. I think that's important too. And if that medicine helps you, yes, I think it's important to take that
Sure.
medicine. If it keeps you.
Yeah. Does anybody have a story of maybe a mistake that they made that they learned from? Because I know that sometimes we wouldn't learn a lesson unless we made that mistake. So does anybody have a story of a mistake that they made that they learned a lot from, that maybe they wouldn't have gotten to make that mistake if people hadn't allowed them to?
Kia has one.
Okay. And I see Jose. We'll go to your story next.
Okay.
Kia, tell us a little about a mistake that you made that you learned a lot from, that maybe if you didn't have the right to make mistakes, you might not have learned that lesson.
Okay, so like when I was like 14, I had my tonsils out, and they gave me this medication to help with the pain in my throat. And either I took too much, or it was something in that medicine that made me act all woohoo. Yeah, because I was acting like really loopy. I just taken this medicine. It had codeine in it, and at the time I didn't know this. I was highly allergic to it. It made my eyes roll up in the back of my head, and it kind of freaked my mom out because she thought I was gonna stop breathing. And like, after I got done taking it and I had that reaction, she took me to the doctor, and they said I had an allergic reaction to codeine.
Yeah, so that would have been scary. Glad that. So now, what have you learned from that?
Now that when I go to the doctor and they give me medicine, I tell them nothing with codeine in it.
Right. Yeah. So just that negative experience that you went through really stuck in your head, and you're overly cautious, and you're very quick to learn from that mistake. And had you never have had that negative experience, you wouldn't feel so strongly about telling the doctor every time you go in there, don't give me anything with codeine, right?
Right.
So that's a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
So be careful.
Jose,
Hey guys,
what's that?
be careful of what you take.
True. Yep. Let's see, Jose, I think you had a question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, all of you. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to let you know, if you have a calendar, that can help too. It's really important to keep track, what you need to take, stuff like that, the medications. I have this, for example, this helps me a lot. Like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the days of the week are there, and you know which ones to take, which ones I need to take during that specific day and what time, if it's in the morning, afternoon, evening. If it's empty, then you know you need to refill it. It's important to call the doctor if you don't have any more refills, and so the doctor can send it to your pharmacy, and then you can go pick it up. Like it could be CVS or whatever, whichever your pharmacy is. It's important to keep track of how many medications you have, and put those in something like this so you can keep track of when to take them and what time, what day and what time, and then you can be safe and get well if you're sick. I take medication for blood pressure and it's been stable. So I'm just, suggesting that you guys do these things to help you with that.
Thank you, Jose. So yeah, anytime we can, keep, especially when it comes to medications, if we can keep ourselves organized, and we definitely don't want to take medications other than the way that they're prescribed. And we never want to take someone else's medication. So thank you for all those important tips. Gila, do you have a mistake that you've ever made that you want to share about what you learned from it?
Yeah, I have to go say. I have something.
Okay.
So we have a doctor from Mac on read for doctor. So the action is is that a pound of staff for doctor. The action the pack read for doctor the how then we're gonna call doctor back. So put that our body the doctor, and we have a lot extra my way from me the doctor. And seeing like our body,
We're gonna have a
and
meeting
we
soon.
what?
We're gonna have a meeting soon, don't worry
And
about
I'm
it.
meeting us soon, like
Right,
about
another
what
meeting.
time?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, but
I'll let you know
so
when.
we have a doctor, and then probably on doctor call. The instant is that math report doctor look. No have math. And we have it's a good
Okay,
doctor.
Gila, enough, done, fine, done.
Yep.
Done.
I know everybody's looking forward to that meeting, Gila.
Right, how is that?
Does anybody else have a story of a mistake that they learned from? So when I was when I was in high school, we it was actually funny enough. We were in health class, and the teacher was out for a little bit, and another person in the class dared me to arm wrestle with him.
Wow.
So we were arm wrestling in high school. So I was, I think I was winning too. I had him over, and all of a sudden I heard this pop, like a nasty, just it was. And what had happened is when you are arm wrestling, the tendon in your arm gets really tight, and it had pulled a part of my bone off of my elbow, and that pop was the sound of that bone coming apart, and everybody kind of went back. And so I had to spend the whole summer in a cast, and the doctor said, did you learn something? Because arm wrestling is dumb, and it's not a good idea to do that, because he was telling all sorts of stories of people that had really hurt their arms by arm wrestling and doing that. And I learned something from that. If you had told me before, if you had just told me don't arm wrestle, it wouldn't have stuck with me. But because I went through that experience, now I'm pretty gun shy about arm wrestling. I know Aaron's always on here trying to ask me to arm wrestle because he's got those, and Mike's got those big, arm wrestling
Muscles, yeah.
muscles. But I don't arm wrestle because I learned something by making that mistake, right? So making mistakes can really help you learn. So. Alex, I'll unmute you. How are you today?
Pretty good.
I see all of your text. I'm doing well. Are you having fun today?
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
I'm at Allen Creek Beach.
You're at the beach.
Allen Creek. Yep.
At Allen Creek. All right. It's a nice
Yeah,
day.
you been there?
I have been there a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
So, Jane, out of the rights that you went over today, which one means the most to you? Which one is something that you really just you're very happy that you have this right along with all of us, and that right means a lot to you?
Go ahead, Dana.
No.
I would say the right to work and have a job means a lot to me. As I was saying before, I enjoy my job. I like, working here at PALS, and I like helping Phil, and when Mal was here, I liked helping him, and Randy's and Aaron and you actually with a lot of the paperwork and everything and the clerical work, and I enjoy doing that. And I like helping people, and it gave me the opportunity to use the skills I already had. But there was a lot of skills I needed to learn, like redo, like scanning. I finally learned how to scan on the copier and make copies and do billing, which I enjoy doing. And then I also like doing the gas receipts. I thought that was a lot of fun too. So I guess, doing a lot of clerical stuff, I really enjoyed doing that. And I really enjoyed working with everybody here at PALS, and, and sometimes helping the staff. That meant a lot to me because that's always been my passion, to have a job here at PALS and to work here. And I really enjoy working with everybody. And like I said, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be or where else I'd rather work, actually. So I'm pretty happy here.
That's a great story, Jane. So I mean, Jane gets a lot of satisfaction from having the ability to work. We all have the right to do something that gives us that feeling of satisfaction. I think Aaron popped on here. Let's see if Aaron has a mistake that he learned from.
Well,
Hi,
first,
Aaron.
Janie, this was incredible. I'm so proud of you to be able to just be in front of a group and captivate your audience for an entire segment is difficult, and you did it. So that just tells us everything we need to know about you. And I've had the pleasure of being around Jane for, what's it been, about 8 years now, Jane?
8 years,
And when I think about advocates and being able to stand up for yourself, Jane always comes to mind. She's always with us at the DD Awareness Days at the State House, and doesn't hesitate to speak up and be an advocate for all of us. And I truly appreciate that about her. And I had the pleasure of seeing it firsthand. And actually, it's funny, and I'll get into my mistake here in a second because it'll make all of you laugh. But when we were creating PALS and putting a lot of the new employee paperwork together and some of the trainings and different things like that, I had given Jonah quite a few videos to review. And one of them was a Bill of Rights video from, it had to be in the mid-90s. I can't remember who made it. I think it was an APSI group. But actually, Jane, you were on that video. Do you remember that?
I remember that, and I remember I was at the time, and it was actually my idea to put a video together because I wanted individuals to know what their rights are. I think a lot of times individuals don't know what their rights are, and it was a good way to educate not only us as individuals, but also the public. Because a lot of times, I don't think the public knows what our rights are and think that we don't have rights. And so I think it's important to educate not only ourselves, but the public is aware. Even our staff, because I found that I had one individual that I guess she wasn't aware of it, and I felt that, like at my meeting yesterday, it had to do with our rights, and what you had talked about, Ryan, about the ADA and what it meant. And one of the things that kind of hurt me is she used the word, MR, and regarding to me, and it really hurt me. Because I remember the reason it was changed in the first place is because a lot of people were using that and judging us and it gave us a stigmatism, and it hurt a lot of people. So I'm glad that the governor changed it and got rid of that word and just kept developmental disabilities, because I think him doing that has made a difference in a lot of people's lives, because that's another thing I had to deal with. Like I said, you're retarded, you're stupid, you're dumb, which hurt me a lot. And I am so grateful to him for finally making a bill and making it a law, because it's made a difference in my life, and I know it's made a difference in other people's lives. But I am glad that we're able to educate not only ourselves, but our staff, other people that work with us, and let us know, that we are not MR. We may have challenges that we face, but we are capable of doing much more. Like the rights here. These are our rights. These are the things that we're capable of doing. And it's important that they know that, and not to judge us because we're different.
I love how you presented that, Jane. And then thank you, too, because a lot of people don't bring that up. They don't mention it. They kind of shy away from it. But then you have a lot of people that are not educated in that area, and they use that word still. So we need to continue talking about it and bringing it up. So that was a great ending to this segment. And it's something that we're going to continue to advocate for ourselves against and not allow to happen in society. And like I said, it's just been a pleasure to watch Janie be an advocate for a long time. And way before PALS, when I was a direct support professional for another company a long time ago, I was watching Janie in a video, and it's amazing how our worlds have just come together. And I'm so grateful for her and everything she's done on here. So that was a great segment. That's a perfect way to end our day.
Oh, don't think we're letting you out of here, Aaron. What's the mistake that you made that you learned from?
Okay, I have a lot of those, right? So I'm not gonna lie. There's plenty of mistakes. I think that's what makes us who we are, is learning from those mistakes and going through those those times in life where you're challenged. But yeah, I've had a lot of mistakes, but you know, I think about one in particular. Jenna was talking about the arm wrestling, and that made me think about one that, and it'll hit close to home, both Michael and I were a part of. And I think we were in about 6th or 7th grade, so close to junior high. And we used to play football outside in different sports, but in particular, this time we were playing football outside of his house. And we were running down a hill, and I had, you know, went to tackle him, and I landed on him, and I actually broke his collarbone. And the mistake was we shouldn't have been playing tackle football. We should have been playing two-hand touch or whatever else, right? But we didn't learn from that mistake. So the following year, and now I would think I was in 7th grade or 8th grade then. Same thing, but reverse happened, where Michael went to tackle me, jumped on top of me, and my arm went into his rock pile next to his house, and I broke my humerus, which is the top half of your arm. And I should have learned from my mistakes or somebody else's mistakes, and I did it, and it happened to me. So it was a tough lesson, but like everything in life, you know, didn't do that anymore. So learn from just bad decisions, I guess. So
Right.
yeah, so thanks for pointing that out again, Jenna. Appreciate it. Been a fun day. I like seeing all of our programs. I know that makes me happy. I get to look on the screen and see a group in Harrison County and see a group in Columbus and in Heath and Steubenville. So we're starting to see different groups online now, and I love that. And we continue to get new faces on here. I know Carla's been on here a few times now, Mark, and I even saw Jennifer the other day. So that was great. All right, everyone. That wraps up our day here. We're going to close it out. We will be back again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for another great lineup in store for you. Thank you, Phil, for being safe. I'm stuck on you right now. But that's great. It was a great job by Janie to close us out, and we're so appreciative of her and her segment here. And we need to do that again and way more often. So thank you for that, Janie. All right. So everyone have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone.